Outside the museum, this sculpture is entitled The Chase. It was commissioned by the museum, and it personifies motion and strength. Each of these sculptures weighs 3,000 pounds, and they were cast in 28 different parts and welded together, ground out and finished with a chemical patina. Pretty neat. Does it look like I'm slobbering? I really am. This place here is, I love motorcycles, and this place is full of them. Unreal. Hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles. This floor is motorcycles from 1900 to 1930s, and there are lots of them. Check this out. This Sears motorcycle was sold in the Sears catalog for $169. Why would you want to buy from the Sears catalog, you ask? Well, the advantage that you have this compared to a dealer is you can pay for it on monthly installments, order it on the catalog, and have it shipped right to your house. This section is racing bikes. This 2004 Yamaha YZF R6 was ridden by Michael Jordan, his team, in 2004. It would go over 160 miles an hour. Complete with matching helmet. This 2011 Ducati 848 Evo was used in the 2011 Daytona 200 by Jason DeSalvo. He had an engine failure, but the race was shut down for a short period of time because of some tire issues. During that downtime, they replaced the motor in this bike, and not only did they replace the motor in time for the race to get back on the road, he won. First place. First time a motorcycle had ever won a race by changing motors out.
I don't guess.
This motorcycle was ridden by Alabama native Jim Rogers. He was a Wall Street legend long before he wrote the book Investment Biker. In 1970, he did something that very few people has ever managed to do. At the age of 37, he retired, and he rode this motorcycle around the world. It took 22 months, but altogether they had drove 65,067 miles on land, and he traveled 1,000 more on sea and air barge and rails to link him across the 6 continents, setting a world record for land travel along the way. This is the '89 BMW that his girlfriend Tabitha rode. These motorcycles are in exactly condition that you see them now, the day that they finished a ride. And he even wrote a book, Investment Biker. A photograph of her motorcycle stuck in the sands of the Sahara Desert. She said, "You said there'd be roads. This isn't a road. It's whitewater rafting on a motorcycle. I want to go home." A photograph of the carcasses of motorcycles and cars and things that had tried to cross the Sahara Desert. In one place, it took them 3 hours to go just 15 miles. I've been walking this museum for the last hour or so in search of this bike. 1973 Triumph Bonneville. It's exactly like the one that I owned when I was in high school. Drag motorcycles. 1970 Chevy drag bike. Bluegrass singer Dale McCurry sang a song about Vincent Black Lightning, and this is a Vincent Black Lightning. One thing about this motorcycle, they made very few of them, fewer than 40, but this motorcycle was the first to break the 150-mile-an-hour speed barrier on a motorcycle. This 1998 Jawa Ice Racer, if you will notice, the handlebar bent up. It keeps the left elbow from digging into the ice. Even bent up like that, his left elbow touches the ice when they're going around the curves. Something I find really fascinating is this bumper guard. It comes down real low. Well, why would you think that? Well, look at the spikes on the tires. They're all sharp and pointy. Could you imagine a rider that fell off of his bike on the ground? I'd rather get hit by that bumper than that buzzsaw coming around, wouldn't you think? Motocross motorcycles. And they've got a mock-up of a dirt track. It's actually concrete. Up and over. In 2012, Paul Pellin made his multiple sclerosis diagnosis public and began documenting a $1 million motorcycle journey. In 3.5 years, he rode this motorcycle 172,000 miles across the United States and Canada. And he shared his story along the way at 200 different events and raised over $100,000 for the National MS Society. This is a sidecar racer where during the race there would be a driver as well as a passenger. The passenger would stand or kneel on the floorboard of this sidecar and hold on to keep the car on the track. There are a lot of race cars in this section. It's a 1960 Lotus Type 19. In 1953, fiberglass was introduced to cars, and the museum decided to leave this car unpainted just so you could see. You can see through this fiberglass. This thing is cool. Aluminum cars. It's a 48 Lotus Mark I replica. Here's another replica of a 50 Lotus.
By the time the Mark IV came along, it was time to put...
These cars are really cool. Here is a 1956 Lotus Type 12. This was a race car. And you see the roll cage. And there's the body that would go over the roll cage. More race cars. The 77. This was a national champion. The SCCA national champion. Ford. There's a Vincent Black Shadow. Why is there a lawnmower on display in a motorcycle museum? This mower was designed and built by Vincent Engineering in England, the same company that produced the Black Shadow and the other models. Said to supplement the poor sales of their expensive sport motorcycle, they decided to start designing two-stroke lawnmowers. And not only did Vincent decide to make lawnmowers, they made personal watercraft. Fiberglass personal watercraft. 1943 BMW with a machine gun mounted to it. If you really want to ride a motorcycle and you want your wife to go along with you, but she doesn't want to ride because she's afraid it will mess her hair up, well, maybe this would be what you needed. A 1958 Ariel Square 4. You could be in the wind while your significant other will be totally enclosed in a hot bubble. This is a 1958 Chevrolet Bel Air Impala. Try it again, take two. This is a 1958 Chevrolet Bel Air Impala. 1958 was the first year for Impalas. With the convertible, they only offered this in the Bel Air line. The options included two-tone paint, tri-tone interior, and a third brake light on each side. A total of only 60,000 of these were ever built in 1958. Today, it is the most collectible of all of the Impalas. Check out this interior. This tri-tone, this was an option that actually came from the factory. But one thing that we don't see, look at the dash, no air conditioning. Well, this comes to the end of the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you like motorcycles, this is the place to come. Right outside of Birmingham, Alabama, and I promise you, if you love motorcycles, you can definitely get your feel here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to go down here and click subscribe. After that, click the bell so you'll be notified every time we put a video out. But for now, y'all have a good day.